A daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markle. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markle.
Hello and welcome back. We've reached a bit of a milestone, at least for the Morning Mindset podcast. This is episode number 50. That's right. We've been doing this show now for 10 weeks, 5 times a day, 5 times a week for the last 10 weeks. So, wow. I know it's gone fast, hasn't it? If you've been with us since the very beginning, you probably have thought that. You're like, I can't believe that it's 50 episodes already, but it is. And once more, it's time for self-assessment. Yes, it is time for a gut check. During the last 10 weeks, have you made any adjustments to your day-to-day life? I'm not saying that you were all screwed up and you didn't know what you're doing, but let's be honest with ourselves. We've had 10 weeks of Morning Mindset. And I did this for a reason. I'm trying to help you to lead a more positive and productive life, whether it's a personal life, family life, career life, what have you. Have you initiated any, not all, but any improvements in your day-to-day routine? Now, many of you came in late. You didn't start with episode 1, and that's fine. You haven't been listening to the entire show. This is probably a good time or a good opportunity for you to go back and start listening louder. Everyone in the audience should listen closely to the 14 episodes dealing with leadership traits. That's right, the United States Marine Corps leadership traits. And as I mentioned when we started that, there are people who will go and spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to attend professional leadership seminars. You know, the old Zig Ziglar seminars and so forth. And they'll pay a lot of money to sit down and learn about leadership traits. And what we did from I went back to my show notes, episodes number 18 through 31, we had the 14 United States Marine Corps leadership traits, one at a time. We talked about them in detail. These are things that I learned back in my Marine Corps days when I was trying to become a corporal, a non-commissioned officer from a lance corporal. And every Marine from day one is trained to be a leader. So if you have not, for some reason, you just came in the last couple of weeks, great, welcome, I'm glad you're here. But make sure that you go back and listen to episodes 18 through 31, the 14 leadership traits, and how you can improve those. And when we talk about self-assessment, I'm genuinely serious. I want you to sit down and think about your life, think about your career goals, think about, what it is that you want to accomplish. Is there anything you want to accomplish? Did you set any goals? We talked about goal setting during, I think it was the first week of the show. We talked about setting goals. Did you set any goals, and have you achieved any of them, and are you closer to achieving any of them than you were before? And if so, fantastic. But it's also gut check time. If you are not any closer to achieving your goals, or if you didn't even set any goals, my question to you is why? What is holding you back? Why did you make the conscious decision to ignore goal setting? Was it because it would have taken too much time, or you didn't have anything in mind, or you thought, I'm doing pretty good right now anyway, so no big deal? What I want you guys to do today with this is I want you to sit down and I want you to honestly examine your situation. Why did you start listening to the Morning Mindset podcast? Was it just because you needed something to do for 10 minutes while you're drinking your coffee? Is it a convenient distraction while you're commuting, back and forth from work? And if that's the case, fantastic. I'm glad to be of service to you. But did you have a goal in mind when you started? I don't know. You have to answer that question for yourself. And have you taken any positive and proactive steps to improve your career situation, your family situation, whatever it happens to be? Things don't just fix themselves overnight. Remember we talked about weeds and saplings. What's sapping your strength? Do you have weeds in your life that are keeping you from growing? Did you start pulling any of those weeds? Did you prune back any of those saplings that were stealing your strength, that were sapping your strength? Sometimes, weeds are bad habits. Sometimes weeds are people. I know that's not nice. It doesn't seem like a nice thing to say. But sometimes there are people in our lives that act as weeds, and they suck up all the good oxygen and energy out of the room. And rather than helping us grow and develop, they hold us back. Sometimes we have to take an honest self-assessment. We need to say, maybe I don't need to be spending time around these people, around this person, because rather than helping me grow and become a better person, they do the opposite. Maybe they're the devil on your shoulder that says, go ahead and quit. Don't even try. There are people, when you try to excel and achieve, there are C students that look around and if you excel and you achieve, that it makes them look bad. They don't like that. So they'll try and talk you out of it. They'll say things like, oh, why are you working so hard? Who are you trying to impress? I'm not trying to impress you, that's for sure, because you're a C student and you're happy to be a C student, and I don't want to be a C student. I want to be an A student. I want to be the top percentile of my class. I don't want to be average. We didn't come here to be average, and you were not put on planet Earth to be an average person. Okay, that's a default. That just happens on its own. Now, about a week ago, I put out a quandary to you guys, and I asked you whether or not you'd be interested in a morning mindset study guide, an actual book, an actual written guide that deals with, most of what we've been talking about here on this show, but is put down in a daily devotional / study guide format. And the vast majority of you who responded said that, yes, you would indeed like to have a morning mindset study guide. Well, here's the trick. Somebody's going to have to actually write it, compile it, edit it, and prepare it for distribution. And guess who that somebody is? That somebody is me. So what's going to happen, and I hope you guys are paying close attention to this episode because I'm about to tell you something. So this is a Friday episode, looks number 50. So on Monday, you're not going to find a brand new episode of Morning Mindset. What I'm going to be doing for the next week is I'm going to be devoting the time that I would normally use to preparing the show notes and recording the show. I'm going to be compiling the material for a morning mindset book, a morning mindset study guide. And the plan, as it sits right now, is to make it available both as a Kindle format and as a paperback format. So it's going to take me some time and effort, and I've already laid the groundwork, trust me. But I'm not going to be able to do both, or it'll be easier for me to write it if I'm not doing this and writing these show notes. So we've done 50, and if you didn't start at number 1, and I'm assuming that most of you probably didn't start at number 1. Maybe you did, and that's fantastic. If you didn't, go back and re-listen from the beginning. They should, I believe they should all be available. And if they're not, you can always go to morningmindsetpodcast.com and you can find them all. If nothing else, during this next week, if you do nothing else, I want you to listen to the leadership traits. I want you to go back, and if you haven't listened to them yet, you definitely need to. But even if you already have, take the time, do one a day or 2 a day, or 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, or what have you, and listen to the leadership traits. So, self-assessment time. During the last 10 weeks of Morning Mindset, have you made any adjustments? Have you set any goals? Have you initiated any improvements in your day-to-day routine? I can't answer that question for you, only you can. But I can tell you this, even though there won't be new episodes during the next week, I will be working very diligently on Morning Mindset material, and this is your opportunity, if you haven't already, to catch up. How's that sound? Does that work for you guys? Okay. Now, today's episode is brought to you by a book called Dad Rules: Wit and wisdom from a dad to whom it may concern. Dad Rules is a collection of short tales, witticism, and heartfelt advice. If you have a dad, if you are a dad, if you know a dad, that book is for you. Pick it up for a dad. Give it to him as a birthday gift, a Father's Day gift, just a I like you gift, what have you. You can find the book Dad Rules, Wit and Wisdom from a Dad to Whom It May Concern on Amazon as a paperback, or you can get it as a Kindle version as well. All right, folks, you have your assignment. Drive on. I am Paul Markle, and I'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markle, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.